Well, so we're here at the conference, and we're so glad to have you. We were talking about Howling at the Moon last night.
Yeah. Yes.
I think we had, 4 states out there last night?
At least. Yes.
5, maybe. Anyway, what's been your favorite part of the conference so far?
Everything has been great.
So much to choose from.
No, I'm like,
Yeah, favorite part.
There have been some amazing breakout sessions.
Yeah.
I love the sessions, but I really love the opportunity to network and just talk to people from all over. And it's like we all have that commonality of wraparound. And so it's like we all speak the same language. And so I think that has been beautiful. You're able to just sit down anywhere and just spark up that conversation with people. I loved that.
Yeah.
I know we had San Diego, we had North Carolina, we had
Washington State.
California.
Illinois.
It's been, yeah.
Yes.
Half the team was pretending like they were working out in the gym last night. They were not on the phone. Anything somebody else want to share?
I think the knowledge that is being given to the attendees has been one of the hallmarks for me. There's a lot to take away, to take back home.
Anything in particular?
Well, I have two themes, I would say. One is thinking outside of the box. So getting outside of the comfort zone to make wraparound be that much greater. And then leverage has been another theme that I have heard. Leveraging your resources, leveraging knowledge, partnerships, and stakeholders, all of that.
Yeah. It's quite like historic and nostalgic to be here. I'd even be on the couch. Like I imagine, I wish they would have had podcasts back then. Imagine what we'll be listening to. But when back then they didn't have all the formal system structures, FFPSA, Medi-Cal, Medicaid, right? They didn't have all that. It was literally, as John said in the breakout, it started with one family. Think about that. One family.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
And look at where it's grown to now. Yeah.
But it was never, and my point was, it wasn't done with professional services, right? It wasn't, it was leveraging the power of the community.
Yes. Grassroots efforts is what comes to mind.
Yeah. Why don't you guys tell me about North Carolina and the work you do? And tell me a little bit about that grassroots work maybe that you see out there and experience.
So I'm Deborah Moore. I'm the lead implementation specialist with the North Carolina High Fidelity Wraparound Training Program. We are out of UNC Greensboro, specifically out of the Center for Youth and Family Community Partnerships. Long name. We are the overseers of High Fidelity Wraparound for the entire state of North Carolina. So what that means is we are responsible for credentialing all the team members. We train them. We support them and their teams. We help them in hiring process to build up their teams, including the coaches, facilitators, youth and family support partners. We offer various trainings. We call them boosters sometimes, outside of the foundations training that we provide. We are currently in like 83 of our 100 counties. It has grown. We have 100 counties in North Carolina, absolutely. It has grown tremendously. I came on to the team 6 years ago. And at that time, I think it was about 22 to 25 counties. I may be high numbering that. And it has grown now to currently being 83 of the counties. So we are trying to cover the entire state so that every single family has the opportunity to receive high fidelity wraparound, regardless to where they live. From one end of the state to the next, we want them to be able to obtain this valuable program. As you all know, it's so valuable.
Let's go. Yeah. Wonder how quick we'll be to that. We said 100.
We have 100 counties in total.
Okay.
We're working hard to get to the full.
Yeah.
We're hopeful.
How many? What? When you're like large, like thinking about the whole census, how many do you know approximately? How many youth across the state? Big question. If you don't have the answer.
We might figure that out.
Yeah. Approximately.
I'm a guess at about 400 youth. Okay. That seem right?
Yeah.
I'm thinking about that census.
Yeah, we're thinking about
that's why I said the magic word. I said the magic word. Okay, well,
what make a phone call and find out that
yeah, sure. Well, what do you think about that? I wonder also, what about like population? Is it specific to child welfare, or is it like juvenile justice, developmental disabilities?
Yeah, so we work with, so I'm Jessica Addix.
Come on,
I
yes,
am an
thank you.
implementation specialist too with the North Carolina High Fidelity Wraparound Training Program. Our demographic is far and wide. So we do see a lot of social service involved youth, a lot of juvenile justice involved youth, but that is not an inclusive list. Like,
Okay,
you know,
okay.
there's school involvement, there are referrals from mental health agencies. We try to, as long as, you know, youth and families meet eligibility, wherever a referral is coming from, however multi-system involved you are, we want to serve.
Let's go.
Mhm.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Okay. Well, you want to introduce yourself, please, Rachel?
Sure. Yes, I'm
Hey,
Rachel
that's good.
Landau, and I am an implementation specialist with lived experience for the training program. So I'm afforded the opportunity to share my lived experience in the training room and to use that to inform the trainings that we do, which is my favorite part of my role.
Yeah. Awesome. Did you want to add something?
Well, with the grassroots efforts.
Yeah.
Oh, so what I will say is, I think we can all speak to this. What we're seeing now is a lot of wraparound being embedded into the community a lot more, and so we're getting a lot more inquiries about, you know, what is this? How do you do it? What if I want a team? Our managed care organizations that are, you know, the Medicaid facilitators, they are becoming more intentional about conversation with us to get these other counties covered. Or if there's already coverage, how can we offer choice in the counties where, you know, there's already coverage? So there's a lot of conversation happening top down and bottom up to get.
It's like I'm envisioning I'm gonna say a Awanas club in like a church that maybe wants to start doing one family wraparound at a time. Would we be open to a call like that?
Well, it's a process.
Watch it. Yeah. Well, I'm
To
talking
get
more
them
from the
started.
natural support community grassroots
yes.
perspective,
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
right? So not
would
like
definitely invite that.
facilitating so
Okay.
much,
Yes.
but maybe being our natural supports in this
Oh,
Absolutely.
yes.
area
please.
code.
Yes, please.
Can I speak
Yes, please.
to
Please
natural
speak to
support?
that.
Can I
Come on.
speak to it? Okay.
Please.
So I'm Sabrina Shiver. I'm an implementation specialist with lived experience as well. I've had the opportunity to implement the process. So be in the field working directly with youth and families as a facilitator and a coach. But my first introduction to wraparound was as a natural support. There was a young lady in our community, and she needed wraparound, and I got a first name and a phone number. And they're like, reach out to this young lady. You know, someone from my church asked me to reach out, and I'm like, okay. And so I reached out to her, and I became a natural support until she left and went to Job Corps. The good thing is, I live in a small town. So although I'm not working at that level, I still run into her. It could be at the, pizza parlor. It could be at the mall. And, we stop and we have those 5-minute conversations. And in my head, I'm like, this process works because I see it
Yes.
at that level.
Yes. That's so beautiful. Story, and it makes me think about how powerful natural supports are. Like, we encourage families to build their natural support system to the point that they don't need us. We often say we want to work ourselves out of a job because you have the support system set up so strongly that you don't need the professionals or the services coming in to help you navigate life and crises and manage things. So natural supports are a huge, huge, huge push for us to get families to build that up for themselves.
I'm glad you stole the mic because I was over here starting to tear up. I like real talk. You guys know I'm only here because of 1,000.
Yes, you're heroes.
You know,
You're heroes.
and some of them I didn't like sometimes. Some of them probably didn't like me sometimes. But yeah. What do you think, Rachel?
I see oftentimes that the model trickles into my own life often, in terms of natural supports too, just seeing how I try to practice what we preach in terms of reciprocity with natural supports. So being more intentional now that I reach out to my natural supports, not just when I need something, but just to check in. How are you? Is there anything that you need from me? It's not just about reaching out when you need something.
There's a book, it's a TED Talk or something. I think it's both maybe, but it talks about like men in their like late 30s, early 40s, how they become. They kind of go like have a hard time being in the pack sometimes, but they talk about how like that's exactly what they need at that point. It's like almost like a reconnection to the mother again, right? It blows my mind when you think about it, and I'm getting old, so I can recognize some of that. And I really appreciate your comment about like it's not just about what they could do for me, but what I could do for them.
Mhm.
You know, and our book's coming out here pretty soon.
Look forward to that.
You know, whatever it takes. We talk about this power, the reciprocity. In the beginning of doing wraparound, we didn't even have any families. They told us to go volunteer in the community. And so just after the fires in San Diego, right, we were sent in, and the job was not to serve anyone except for the community. And then we made friends. We made besties. I know so and so over there, right? And then we got our first family. And so even though they came into maybe the program of, they came into the wraparound village, right?
Like, yes.
And even some things, you know, I'd say too much. Let me get back to you guys.
When you mentioned
Please.
community, it made me think about another grassroots effort that we're doing in North Carolina. We are being intentional to be a part of the collaboratives in the communities. There are collaboratives across all of the 100 counties in North Carolina. And so we're being more intentional to attend those meetings that they have monthly so that we can share the word about high fidelity rap. There are still some areas that are not as familiar with the program, so that's an opportunity for us to educate. And then there are places that has been high fidelity rap has been there since it started in North Carolina, and so for those counties, we're there to continue to offer support, encouragement for referrals and things like that. So I think that's another effort we're making to try to ensure we are embedding within every community high fidelity wraparound. Education is key. When people know what the program is, then they're more likely to make referrals and be curious about how we can support the families that they're serving. So I think that's going to continue to increase the growth of the program across the state.
Kind of want to take it deeper, maybe even a little more provocative conversation. Are you guys ready? Want to go there?
Yeah, let's go.
Sure.
Well, I'm just thinking about Carolinas,
Okay.
right? And I'm thinking about, you know, the William lawsuit a long time ago, and Dr. Lenore Bihar, and I'm thinking about, you know, was that North or South?
It was North Carolina.
Was North Carolina,
William,
right?
right?
Yeah, William.
Mhm.
Yeah, like, do you know anything about like that history? And I'm not trying to quote you, but I just want to know, what do you know of the, you know, what's been passed on through generations? Why did wraparound get coined? The word literally came out of North Carolina, right, with Dr. Lenore Bihar's work, and a lot of the stuff is sometimes controversial because when you look back, it was a different point in time. But I'm wondering what, like, you guys are maybe some of the ones that were really a part of that first crew, right? Thinking about it. I mean, John, literally, these are the 5 people he calls out in his book, right? So I'm just wondering your thoughts. Anybody?
Yeah, I was gonna say, you know, I wish Pippa Dobbins was here. She's one of our retired implementation specialists because she,
You know Bibba? Yes,
yes,
you know Bibba.
yes,
And she could rattle it off.
oh
just
my
like
gosh,
that.
yes, she has talked about, you know, just how case management has evolved in North Carolina, and then high fidelity wraparound was the thing that everybody wanted to see, because it was the care coordination process. It wasn't just, and what came out of Willie M was really good intent because we're trying to get access to the youth who need it. And there were some pejorative terms that were used to describe their behaviors. And there was a good intent of a need seen. But case management turned into more of a facilitation and telling what was going to happen. And wraparound came along and said, you are somebody. What do you want to happen? And how do you want to make this happen? We may have to work through some mandates, but we're going to figure that out and support you in building your self-efficacy. So yeah, I wish he was like really here to speak to a lot of those fine details. Yeah.
Maybe when we come up to your guys' conference next
Yes,
year,
please.
maybe we could get Bill on.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
She would love that.
Yes.
She would love that.
I was a part of, well, was it you both of your original
Yes.
oral presentations, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We were here, Bibba and I came at the same time for the initial training.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Any other thoughts? I'm still open floor on that concept.
Initial thought about
Just the kind of, yeah, the expansion and growth. Like even thinking about the lawsuit back then versus where we are now. Are we achieving that? Are we there?
Oh.
Are we closer?
we are definitely closer. Because one of the things that I'm thinking about with the Willie M lawsuit was the need for the deinstitutionalization
Say it again.
of the youth.
Say it
the
again.
Deinstitutionalization.
Say it one more time.
The institutionalization of those youth that, they had just kind of put away as if, like you're throwing away a shirt. And it was like, no, that's not what these youth need. They need love, care, support. They need a community and a team to help them to feel like they can navigate whatever difficulties. And a lot of times it was out of trauma that they had experienced. And so instead of just casting someone away, and unfortunately it's seemingly what they were doing with putting them in institutions. And so someone realized, okay, we don't need to just keep them hospitalized and in institutions. So we're going to just throw them back in the community without support, without assistance, without the wraparound that they really needed to be successful. So now to answer the question of have we gotten better? 100%, I feel we have, because we recognize we can go in and begin working with youth that have been put in a facility of some sort, whether it's a psychiatric residential treatment facility or detention center. We can begin doing some interventions even before they're released back into their community and their family, so that it helps to make it a more seamless process. Work with the families even before the youth comes back home, so that it's again just a better melding together.
Yeah.
Once they're there.
Thinking with the end in mind.
Absolutely.
Thinking, I saw a
For
presentation.
transition.
I forget who it was. Was it one of your group? I don't know. But they started their whole oral presentation at transition. They just flipped it up. They did it all backwards.
I love it.
They said it's a circle, right? And this was, my mind's going crazy because, like, in indigenous Indian culture, everything's a circle, right? And so I'm thinking about, instead of 4 like phases that progress, we think about it as 4 parts of a circle, right?
Love it.
Because if you're thinking in the beginning, because some families don't need to be in systems. It's actually the systems that are causing sometimes
problem.
some of the struggles.
Yes.
Whether
Agreed.
intentionally or unintentionally.
Agreed.
Right? So some families would even say, leave us alone. So thinking it backwards, right? It's like, what is it going to take to get this kid home tomorrow? And it's a brave person to say that in a meeting where people are worried, and right, there's liability. So that, I think that thinking about that level of like almost flipping it, it's kind of unique. Have you had any recent recent family stories? Maybe you want to share one before we get out of here?
Yeah, I think that's something that we're very proud of, that it has been happening more and more frequently, is that we're having families who have been served by wraparound that are now becoming family support partners within the mental health agencies that are providing wraparound. We've been able to showcase them too on our family panels and our conferences as well, and hear about their stories and how they come to overcome and what their journeys have been to this point.
Sorry, I just was back at the conference with some of the families on stage.
Yes. Wasn't that powerful? To hear their voice, they can say it better than we ever could.
Yes,
Of what
I
the
think
program
so.
has meant to them. It's like, give them a mic and just let them have it.
And I think the beautiful thing is, even one of the panelists who became a family support partner, she talked about how she went through that process not once, but twice. And it took her a little bit, but now she's able to walk alongside family. So I think that's a beautiful thing.
Absolutely.
What's the process too?
It is. And that very parent that Sabrina is speaking about, she actually wrote a book. And yes, and highlights high fidelity wraparound, helping to change her trajectory of life.
We need
So
to get a copy of that book
We
and put
need
it
to
in the
get
show
Does anyone
notes.
know the name of it?
It's okay if we don't.
Okay.
We'll get it. We'll do our best to get it in the
She
show
wrote
notes.
it. Yes, sir.
Yeah, my mind definitely went to the family panel, just being that we have at our conference every year, just being able to hear directly from their mouths. And then even in like our newsletter, we have the weekly easies that are used to assess for like satisfaction and outcomes and fidelity, and there are places where families can write in their thoughts. And so we highlight what families have said in those surveys, and how they love working with their facilitator. And I'm gonna miss my team. Like if it's a transition with the easy, I'm gonna miss my team, but they're welcome to come back anytime. All of those things.
That's called living in your outcomes.
Yes.
Dr. Vandenberg says that the number one thing to offset burnout, compassion fatigue, secondary trauma, is living in your outcomes. When you're shielded by your work, if you will, right? Your intention, your purpose, Now they're standing right beside me. Now they're giving that medicine. In
Mm.
fact, what he talked about was, you think about the world's strongest natural healing community, not paid, that we have. Do you know what it is? I'm putting you on the spot. Sorry. I know, but this is me on the show, right?
Family is what I
Good guess. Good, great guess. AANA. Alcoholics Anonymous,
Oh.
Narcotics Anonymous. Am I saying that right? Anyway, no one in that whole program, of all those thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of volunteers that will, on a drop of a dime, show up for their people, none of them are paid. In fact, they have these things that they read that they say, like, we don't take money. We're not funded. This is out of our own healing, because it's not about me giving to you. This is about me maintaining
Supports
I
your
think
own
that's
recovery
beautiful.
journey.
your own recovery journey.
That's
Yeah.
powerful.
Think about, like, so reciprocity, natural
Yes.
support.
Oh yeah.
The largest natural support community, like the healing, right? Because nobody works. Think about it. What do you do with those people that end up being castaways, maybe struggling with alcoholism, maybe have big needs, right? A lot of services turn their back and don't want, right? Tell me I'm wrong.
You're right.
But you know who doesn't? Next door neighbor who is a sponsor for 30 years, who will show up. It's powerful.
Yeah, it is.
I think that really speaks to one of the sessions that I went to by Dr. Napoleon Bradford,
Yes.
and his wife, Mrs. Bradford, as well. And their basis was about the church being a pillar of the community. One of the takeaways that can like overlay onto what we're talking about is just the sense of self. It's not about self. Like you have values that you operate from, whether in the sense of that session it's faith based or a set of values that you carry with you in your work. And when you take yourself out of it, you're able to fully serve and fully be present.
Yeah. It's almost like a civic duty, right?
I think one of the beautiful things about the training program is we model the model at every level. And so we're very intentional about in that foundations training. It can't be conducted without the lived experience voice. And so it's, that's either myself or Rachel. We're in that space. And then when training is developed, we look at it or we co-develop that training and we give our lived experience perspective because we want to honor the model even at our level. And so I think that is so important. And as someone who's able to share that lived experience, it is part of my healing because I get to, the lessons I learned, I get to share with others. And I think that's a beautiful thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
yes.
I joke
That's
about it
always
like,
powerful.
go ahead.
I was saying, and it's always powerful.
I joke about it kind of like patient zero, like in a good way, right? Meaning like I had to get bit, but I developed the immunity, and now because I've healed. Don't do it till you healed, right? You gotta.
Right. Yes.
So I don't be bleeding on
Yes.
you, right?
Yes.
But once I've healed and that immunity is like
Built
in
up.
my blood, I didn't share it.
Yes.
Yes.
I love that.
Right?
That's good.
But the problem is you got to be careful because you could become the working dead along the way. Do you follow that?
Yes.
Nasty,
You have to
right?
take
Don't
care
want
of
to do
yourself.
that.
You
Yeah.
have to take care of
You
yourself.
got to take care of that. You got to know that immunity is sacred, right? And that's why you got to care for it.
Mm-hmm.
Boys nuts.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But that's a great perspective that I'm going to put in my tool bag and really bring it to mind because we do have to take care of ourselves because it's a living experience.
Correct.
It's not it's we use the term lived, but it's happening.
Still
Yeah.
living in
Yeah.
every day.
Mhm.
Yes.
we've even shifted a little bit to impacted parent leader or an impacted leader because I'm still impacted by the systems today.
Right.
Right?
Like that.
Yeah.
Ooh, right? Say it again. Well, this has been wonderful, y'all. This has been so wonderful to have you. We're friends, like it's and I hold these relationships sacred, all of them, and even getting to come to you guys' conference last month and watch you guys rock the mic and shout out you guys like UNCG Wraparound the training. What is the official title?
North Carolina High Fidelity Wraparound Training.
That's it. We really appreciate y'all. And if you have one thing you want to say with on your goodbye for the show for today, here's your final call. Maybe we'll still go backwards over here.
Okay. I just wanna piggyback off of Rachel. Wraparound is not just what I do in my work, but it has become really my life.
Let's just let that set for a minute.
Yeah.
Because I think that is real, real, real. It changes who you are. It's
It
not something
does.
you do.
And just the functionality of it and how it really can show up in your everyday life is something that we really do in my house. We brainstorm when it's time for dinner. Like we have to do meal planning. Let's sit down. Let's brainstorm. There's no bad ideas. Let's get our list generated. So it just shows up in a lot of different ways.
Are your kids annoyed by it?
I don't have children,
No.
but
No, sorry.
but my husband is.
Husband. Okay, that's how. Yeah. My family's always, Dad, we're not one of your clients. I'm like, we don't work with clients.
That's right. That's right. We have families.
If there was anything that I would leave, I would say be yourself, live
Mhm.
your truth, and go out here and do good because you're naturally great.
Beautiful. And you bring so many spheres of influence. In a wraparound, you get to activate them all. You don't just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm a dad, I'm a coach, I'm a musician, I'm an artist, right? I bring all that to the table.
All of it.
Cup runs over.
Yeah.
When you're blessed, everything that you touch gets touched as well.
Yeah.
Close us out.
I will close us out. I will say thank you all for having us. This has been phenomenal. Always a great time with you all. Continue to live out this journey. This journey of high fidelity wraparound is a beautiful thing. It's taking over the world. We're wrapping around the world
go.
because
Wrap
it's a
around the
good
world.
thing.
Go.
Go.
Sorry.
Let's go. Let's go get it. Because they not like us. They not like us.
Wrap around the world. Go.
That's right. And so we do appreciate this partnership. And wraparound is beautiful. And I'm thankful to be a part of it.
Awesome.
Partnering with you all.
Let's go. Let's get it. Thank you so much.
Yes.